Hi everyone, I'm Sandy and welcome back to my channel. Today I have my update for my 2022 reading goals, basically to try and see how well did I do, how well did I not do, on meeting my goals that I had set last December for my 2022 reading. It's an interesting result, so I'm excited to go through that. And I'm also going to share a few of my favorite books from 2022 in this video as well. So the first one, I went back and watched my video where I set my 2022 goals, and I'll leave a card up here for you where you can go and check that video out. The first goal that I had set was basically an anti-goal kind of, which was to not set a Goodreads goal in 2022. And I stuck to that. I did not set a goal. I was tempted a couple of times and just said, nope, not going to do it. Mainly because when you set that Goodreads goal, it gives you a total every single time you log into Goodreads on where you're at. Are you ahead of schedule? Are you behind schedule? And for me, it pushed me to reading a lot more than I really wanted to in 2021. So in 2022, I said, no, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to focus on the number of books that I'm reading. And I'm really pleased with where it ended up. So Goodreads at the end of the year gives you a summary, a year in review, and I'll try and put a screenshot up here for you of what mine looks like right now. But basically, I read 50 fewer books than the year before, and I am thrilled because in 2021 I read 176 books, I believe it was, and it was too much. I felt like I was just always reading, always picking up something, and when I finished a book I felt like I had to pick up the next one. And so in 2022, I, as of the time I'm filming this, have read 124 books. Amazing. Super thrilled. That is exactly kind of where I would want to be. Feels like a more natural, maintainable reading level. When I read 176 books, it was too much. So that reading goal was phenomenal, incredibly successful, landed me exactly where I wanted. So that part's really great. I will be continuing that in 2023. I'm not going to set another reading goal. I really do like not knowing the number of books I've read in a year until the very end of the year. And so that's going to continue in 2023. The other reading goals that I had set, the first one was to read a nonfiction book every month. And I excelled at this one. I read, in some cases, way more than one book in a month. I judged the Book 2 prize in nonfiction, which had me reading quite a bit of nonfiction. And then in Nonfiction November, I read a ton, which was phenomenal. Some of my favorite books of the year came from that nonfiction side in the books that I was selecting. So I have a few that were some of my favorite books in 2022 for nonfiction. And the first one is actually Empire of Pain by Patrick Radden Keefe. This is the story of the Sacklers who owned Purdue Pharma and ran Purdue Pharma. And Purdue Pharma was the company that made oxycodone and was responsible for a very big opioid crisis that company was. And this book exposes a lot of the hypocrisy of the Sackler dynasty, the Sackler family. They wanted to be well known and beloved in the arts, but at the same time they were pushing poison, and especially Richard Sackler. Oh, this book was fantastic and maddening, absolutely maddening. But because of this book, I picked up Say Nothing by Patrick Radden Keefe because I'm really excited about reading that, another book by this author. This was one of my absolute favorite nonfiction reads in 2022. I don't know what year it is. Okay, so the other one that has stuck with me, I actually read this back in January, and this book is definitely in my top of 2022, and it is Winter Dance by Gary Paulsen. I read this almost a year ago and can still remember lines in this book, sections of this book that made me laugh. If you're not familiar with this book, it is basically documenting Gary Paulsen's first time running the Iditarod. And the Iditarod is a sled dog race up in Alaska. I can't remember the cities that it goes from and to. I know it starts in Anchorage, I believe. But so he's learning how to run his dogs, how to take care of his dogs, all of these different things. And he intersperses so much humor in this book. I was laughing many, many times about this book. It was absolutely hilarious. So those two are two of my favorite nonfiction books, and why I'm going to continue on with my nonfiction goal in 2023, because I really do like just the breadth of topics that I got to read about, and some of them ended up, like I said, on some of my favorite books of the year. So yeah, that goal will be continuing. The next goal was that I was going to read a new release every single month. And I did this every month except for one. And I would say it's not as successful of a goal. I don't know if I'm just picking kind of not books that really work for me or topics I'm really interested in. I only ended up with maybe one real kind of favorite from that batch, which was Young Mungo by Douglas Stewart. I can't show it to you because I've loaned it to a friend who would probably really enjoy that book. So I did really enjoy Young Mungo, but outside of that, it was just really hit or miss. And when I went back and looked, a lot of them were just kind of okay. I would like to continue this trend in 2023, but I might be a tad bit more selective when selecting my titles for this. And I may try and use my library a little bit more, so I'm not buying hardback new releases that I don't end up not enjoying very much. But I would like to continue that goal in 2023. So we'll see. The other thing I wanted to do in 2022 was judge the BookTube Prize, and I did end up judging 2 rounds. I judged the first round of fiction, second round of nonfiction. I like the nonfiction round way more than the fiction round. Just some of the books in the first round I did not get along with very well, but I did read Cloud Cuckoo Land as part of that first batch, which was wonderful. So I am going to judge the BookTube Prize again in 2023. I don't know how many rounds or when they'll be. I know that I don't know if I'll get selected for the first rounds or not. Those decisions will be made coming up sometime soon, hopefully. But as of right now, I don't know what I'm judging. But I would like to judge it again. I can't judge the later months because I end up having too many things on my plate. I'm out of town, too much going on. So I end up not judging the later rounds, but I like judging the earlier ones. So we'll see what I get assigned. Hopefully I get assigned a group in batch 1. That would be ideal. The other thing that I had on my list was my book club for 2022. I had selected 10 books and I was successful in reading all 10 books. I think we had people join all of them except for maybe the autobiography of Alice B. Toklas. I don't recall anyone joining that conversation, which is also okay. But it was great to get out and chat with people. My goal for the 2023 book club would be to be more active on Discord for that. That would be a really good goal in 2023. We'll see how I feel at the end of 2023 with that goal, but that's a good goal for the book club. I do really, and I'm so happy with the books that I ended up selecting for the 2023 book club. I will leave all of that information in the description below for you, where you can go and check out all of the titles and the months that they were selected. Though I did mess something up. I had picked Midnight's Children for April, thinking it was for the Asian Readathon, and the Asian Readathon is actually in May, and so I messed that one up a little bit, but I'm going to keep it in April because I don't want to change it. So I don't want to change it. The other goal that I had was to try and do a more regular filming schedule. And I failed miserably at that over 2022. I was very inconsistent. Some weeks I would publish or upload Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Some weeks I published on a Wednesday. Some weeks I published only on a Saturday. And I was very inconsistent across the year. And I will say I will try and come up with a more consistent filming schedule for 2023, but it is tough to do 3 videos a week, which is what I like to do. But maybe if I wasn't working, maybe. So I will try. The videos that I'm most consistent about making are the 1001 Book Countdown videos, because it's easy content as well, and it just requires me to read my books that I want to be reading. So we'll see how it goes in 2023. The only reading goal that I'm adding that is new is to read one of my subscribers' favorite books every single month. And so this year I had asked people for what their favorite was as part of the 901 books tag, and everybody gave me great options and selections. I think I said your favorite book of 2022, not of all time. So I did a book haul for that, and I am definitely committing to reading one of those every single month. That's my only other reading goal that I have in 2023. As far as events go, I don't fully know what I'm going to participate in. I do know January's events, which are Flannery O'January, which is hosted by a number of wonderful booktubers. They have a group read of Wise Blood, and then I also have the collection of short stories, Everything That Rises Must Converge by Flannery O'Connor. And so I know I'm doing that, and I will leave the information about that readathon and all the hosts in the description as well for you. The other one that I know I am going to participate definitely in January is with Jen the Librarian. She has an Forester Readalong this year, or in 2023, and the first book is Where Angels Dare to Tread or Don't Tread, something like that. I can't remember the title. It's a very slim volume, and it's on my 1,001 book countdown. So how can I not join that? I feel like I'm obligated. Not really obligated. I'm ecstatic that I get to read that with a group of people. So I will be joining that for various reads across the year. I know I'll be doing March of the Mammoths because I have a mammoth myself that I'll be reading in there. And beyond that, I don't know. I'm going to try and keep it pretty relaxed with participation in events. I say that, and then the month rolls around. I'm like, Jane Austen July, let's read all of Jane Austen in 1 month. That's not true. I'm reading Jane Eyre in July this year. I know that, but the enthusiasm I get sometimes for events takes over. My realistic side goes, you can't do 5 events this month. So we'll see how that goes. But those are the few events that I know I'm going to do. Hopefully I can do at least one read from AJ Dunn Reads and Writes Killer Book Club. That would be amazing. There's a great event that is the Christie Fest, which I loved doing, but I've run out of time. I didn't have time to read any of those books in 2022. So we'll see what happens. I have a number of buddy reads already scheduled with months, definitely for January, February, March, April. I have one in April now, and in June. I know I have buddy reads, definite buddy reads with dates all selected for those. I have a number of other buddy reads that don't have dates, so hopefully I can get that situated fairly soon and get that organized. That would be wonderful. And yeah, and I'll still be I know I'll still be part of the Up to No Good book club, which is with Jolene at Bookworm Adventure Girl, Shelley Swearingen, 3 subscribers, and Fraser Simon is the other one. So I almost forgot Fraser. How can I forget Fraser? And then Deb, Angela, and Sonia as subscribers and friends. And that's just a lot of fun to get to talk with them on Zoom. And we're reading Middlemarch starting in January. So that one is the other one that I know. And I think that's it. A pretty successful year. I'm happy with the mix of books. I've mixed in some sci-fi, some fantasy this year, a lot of nonfiction, some new releases with new to me authors, which was amazing. I read the Barnes & Noble Book Prize, Discover Book Prize author this year as well, which was The Rabbit Hutch. Amazing. I'm really happy with all of the mix of books. I read one of my favorite books of all time this last year, which I'll be talking about in the book postscript tag coming up. But yeah, it's been an amazing reading year. I've had just so much fun getting to meet new people, getting to do a live show last week, and I'm really looking forward to 2023 and continuing my channel. Yay! It has been an absolute blast, and thanks so much to everyone who likes, comments, and subscribes to my channel. It means the world to me, and I can't wait for another fantastic reading year. So as always, like, comment, and subscribe, of course. I used to go, like, comment, and subscribe. I don't know. And until next time, everyone, thanks, bye.